How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading whether price is going up or down. FTX exec investigated for illegal donations to girlfriend's congressional campaign, Wall Street Journal. So federal prosecutors in Manhattan are examining a series of donations by former FTX executive Ryan Salem to his then-girlfriend Michelle Bond during their bid to win the Republican nomination for congressional district on Long Island. In total, Bond received over $659,000 in contributions for a campaign in 2022, so they're working on tracking it all down and proving it because they use like privacy coins and stuff, so gotta do a little more digging than if they use normal coins. Feds charged engineer in first ever decentralized exchange hack case. No exchange was named, but the U.S. Department of Justice today announced criminal charges in a case involving a hack on an unnamed decentralized exchange or DEX, so the first of its kind. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams said that Shakib Ahmed, a top engineer at an international technology company, used his expertise to defraud the exchange and allegedly steal $9 million in crypto on July 2nd to the 3rd of 2022. It further alleged that the 34-year-old New York resident used the different blockchains, including Monero, the privacy coin, and overseas crypto exchanges to hide the traces of his funds. He then allegedly made an agreement with the DEX to return all the stolen funds except for $1.5 million, and it's believed that this could be part of Solana. It's not named as Solana, but it's believed that it could be the Solana-based liquidity protocol Cream of Finance that had a hack last year. Days after the attack, Ahmed allegedly made internet searches for DeFi hack and looked for information on how to flee the United States, cross borders with crypto, and buy citizenship elsewhere, says the DOJ. UK to exclude unbacked cryptocurrencies from Digital Securities Sandbox Initiative. The primary objective of the DDS initiative is to create a more flexible regulatory environment for digital securities, which encompasses both native digital securities and tokenized representations of existing securities. However, it'll exclude unbacked crypto assets such as Bitcoin or Ethereum, which are two of the biggest coins, so they're pretty much only going to include the tokenized representations of existing securities for now. And it's going to take about 5 years before Bitcoin and Ethereum are included. Over on our total market cap, our stochastic's trying to push up, RSI is trying to push up, but still trying to bend away. Momentum wants to come up with the green dot because our VWAP did break bullish and is heading up. So we do have some positive signs. And money flow still needs to flip bullish, but everything else is looking more positive than bearish currently. Just remember, we are in this up channel, and up channels are descending patterns. Bitcoin futures, our Bitcoin dominance rather, our volume profile, point high value area, way down there. So we are still way up above it, kind of just trading sideways here still. RSI is starting to go sideways, wants to make a bit of a bounce up. Stochastic's still looking a little iffy. Kind of bending at this 18 and could push down. Momentum's starting to bend. Our VWAP is struggling to maintain bullish momentum. So if that does break bearish, just keep an eye on it. Our money flow is getting a new high, so our money flow is going up pretty decently. Just watch out because once it does make a new high and start to pull back, we could see a little bit of a drop. Oop, didn't mean to double click on that. So Bitcoin futures, we're kind of just trading sideways here, just like everything else. Stochastic's pushing down still, RSI is losing strength, momentum's still coming down, VWAP's still struggling to go through that neutral zone and go bullish. Our money flow is in the bearish territory, but it wants to get a little bit of a curl up, so we'll have to see if it can actually push through and kind of hold up. Over on Bitcoin, we are trying to break that support area that we have. We are still within our channel, our bigger channel. So even if we do go all the way up to like 34K, don't get too excited. RSI is trying to make a recovery here. Stochastic's trying to push higher. Our momentum's trying to curl up with the green dot as our VWAP is in the bullish territory and wants to head up. Money flow is ramping up, so money flow is making new highs, making some headway. So we are seeing some positive signs here on the daily. Over on the 4 hour, kind of getting a little bit of a push down. Stochastic's trying to run up, but could get a little bit of a divergence that could form again. RSI is looking a little weak. Momentum looks like it could curl as our VWAP just doesn't know if it wants to go bullish and it's heading back toward that neutral and could break bearish. Money flow is peeking into the bearish territory, so if we are not able to get the lower time frames to go bullish and maintain bullish, we could see this drop even further. Over on the 2 hour, we are kind of bouncing along this support. Each time you hit it, you make it weaker, so it's not good to see this bounce. We could just make what some people call a Bart Simpson, where you just zigzag all over a period, and then you get a big drop down. RSI is overall getting lower highs, kind of flattening out. Stochastic wants to run up, momentum struggling to get new highs, even though the price is trying to make moves. So looking a little iffy here. Momentum could get a red dot if that VWAP does flip bearish, so keep an eye on that, as that VWAP is really struggling to maintain bullish momentum. And money flow is in the bullish territory. We'll need that to maintain on the 1 and 2 hour in order to push the 4 hour into the bullish territory. And if it does start to round off, we could see that 4 hour reject away as well. Over on the 1 hour, money flow is in the bearish territory trying to head up, so it'll be important to watch what happens over the next few candles. If we get a bit of a rejection, we may see a flush. Over on graph for the daily, we are overall trending down here. Could be a big descending triangle that could dump us down, so I would watch out for that. We are heading toward our point of control as we've been slipping away from that value area high. Stochastic is pushing down, RSI is pushing down, momentum is coming down, VWAP is breaking away from that neutral, and our money flow is starting to push away from neutral as well. So this will show you that sometimes when you get that push from one point of control to another, you're not always going to see it in a few days or even a day or two. Sometimes it might take the span of weeks. Like here we were at the top, the 18th of April, and here we made our bounce almost a month later. So sometimes it takes quite a bit of time for a pattern to play out. Lost our volume profile, can't get it back there, but overall we are in between the value area high and the point of control. Stochastic is heading down, RSI is heading down, money flow is heading down, about to break through that neutral. If it does, then we'll see some more bearish action. Our VWAP is heading into the bearish territory, so that's pushing our momentum down with the red dot. If this continues, we could see everything else pull back down and reject away from where they are. Over on the 2 hour, you can see we kind of just have that triangle. Might be a little more of a down channel on the 2 hour, but overall I'd say the 4 hour is a little more important. Stochastic is pushing lower, RSI is overall losing strength. Our momentum is in the bearish territory, VWAP is in the bearish territory, wants to go through that neutral. Our VWAP, if it can go through the neutral, that'll push our momentum up. But if it rejects, we could see that momentum get a red dot and some further downside. Our money flow wants to break through the neutral as well, is trying to flash green so that can persist here. We could see that carry over into some higher time frames, and we could push away from a bearish possibilities. Over on the 1 hour, our RSI is overall losing strength. Stochastic is trying to ramp up, so our RSI could make a recovery. Our VWAP is ramping up. Money flow is trying to go through that neutral, but starting to get rejected. So it'll be real important over the next few candles if we get rejected or if we actually break through and get some positive action. Our momentum wants to go up as our VWAP is heading bullish, but we are kind of at a point where it could start to get a pullback, so just keep an eye out for the next 2 or 3 candles, I'd say. Over on Anchor for the daily, we are trying to get a push off of this value area low, which is also the bottom of our pattern. RSI is trying to push higher. Overall, we're getting lower highs currently though, so just keep an eye on that. Stochastic's trying to curl up, wants to go through that neutral, so if it can manage to go through, we may get some bullish momentum here. Our momentum wants to curl up with a green dot as our VWAP's trying to push through that neutral, and it is in the bullish territory. However, it's looking like it could start to round. And we kind of zoom in here. a little iffy. If it starts to push down here, then I'd keep an eye on it, as we could get a red dot that could push us under that neutral. Our VWAP is ramping up currently. Stochastic's trying to ramp up, so we are trying to give our signals some strength. We have this green dot, so if this green dot can push us forward, we could possibly see like a scam wick out of here, or possibly a break of this pattern. We'll have to keep our eyes open. Over on the 4 hour, RSI is getting really tight. Our stochastic's getting really tight. RSI is not really going anywhere. Momentum's starting to round off. Our VWAP is pushing toward that neutral, but trying to get a bounce, so that could push our momentum higher. Our momentum was trying to curl out as that VWAP was about to break through, but we are trying to push off. Our money flow is arching out though, so we are losing a little bit of strength on the money flow still. Over on the 2 hour, our RSI is trying to run up. Stochastic's trying to push higher. Momentum's trying to get a green dot that wants to push us up. Our money flow is ramping up, and our VWAP is in the bullish territory. So the 2 hours looking pretty hopeful. If these signals can continue, we may trend to the top of our pattern, at which point we'll have to see if we can break through and how everything looks. Over at the 1 hour, stochastic's starting to curl away. RSI is starting to point down with a red dot. That momentum wants to come up, but that VWAP's starting to come down, so that momentum could start to cool off. Our money flow did get a new high, but it is starting to curl around this 15, which is a pretty strong sticking point for it. So we could see a rejection from here, and we could possibly see a retest of the bottom if this does continue. Over on XRP for the daily, we are getting a little bit of a red candle, so we could push to the bottom of this pattern. We'll have to see how the lower time frames look. Stochastic's trying to ramp up, RSI is trying to run up, but starting to point down, so if that does start to curl on us, we could see some further downside. Our money flow is making higher highs, but overall starting to curl away, so if we break through the 16-17 range, we could see some further downside. Our VWAP is trying to push higher and wants to carry our momentum up with a green dot, so we'll have to see if this continues and pushes through that bullish neutral area into the bullish territory. Over on the 4 hour, our stochastic's trying to get a little bit of a curl up to the bullish side, so we want to get a bit of dip up. Our RSI is trying to point upwards, so we are trying to push higher here. Our momentum wants to curl up. Our VWAP is pushing down though, so if this VWAP, actually it's coming up really sharp here on this edge. Sorry, I thought that was the cutoff. It's coming up that sharp, so it is coming up real sharp, so that's why our momentum's kind of looking really goofy here with that sharp raise up. Our money flow is trying to push off that neutral, so we're at a pretty pivotal spot. The next couple 4 hour candles could tell us where our next trend could be. It could tell us if this will play out or if we could push away from it. Stochastic's trying to run up, RSI is starting to run up, but it's starting to get a little stretched out here. Money flow's trying to make a new high, so we'll have to see if it rolls over here or not. That VWAP is trying to push higher, and that momentum is getting a green dot as our VWAP's pushing pretty strong, so we are looking pretty decent. We'll need these signals to continue. Over on the 1 hour, we are getting a little bit of a reversal arrow, so that wants to bring us down. Just keep an eye on it. Doesn't always happen on the 1 hour. You can see those signals are pretty noisy as you have a lot of them right there. Our stochastic wants to roll over, RSI wants to roll over. Our momentum is in the bullish territory coming up, as our VWAP is in the bullish territory, but it's starting to head down, so our VWAP could start to reject away. Money flow is starting to curl out as well after making a new high, so we could see a little bit of a cool off. If we do, we could trend and test the bottom of this pattern, at which point we may get a breakdown if we don't have any bullish signals at that point. So keep an eye on that. Over on the daily for algo, we are trying to push through our value area low, so that is not good for us. We'll need a green candle to step in and push us higher, otherwise we could see a rejection and possibly fill these wicks, kind of like I mentioned a couple days ago. RSI is losing strength, stochastic's pretty beat down, money flow's coming out. Our VWAP is rejecting away, and our momentum is coming down, so overall the daily's not looking the strongest. I believe there was like a wallet or one of the governance areas that was closed down on algo today too, So there could be a little bit of a sell-off as people are moving coins around. Stochastic wants to get a push up. We'll have to see if it can make a bullish cross or not. RSI is pushing up with a green dot. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory, but trying to sharply come up, so our momentum may get a green dot soon. Our money flow wants to kind of curl up, but we are getting lower lows and trending lower. So the 4 hour we are overall pushing down and trending bearish, but we could possibly get a reversal. Especially if we close like this. This is a tweezer bottom potential. So if we get a green candle that pushes us through that value area low, we could see some further upside and trend to the point of control. Over on the 2 hour, our RSI is starting to curl away. Stochastic wants to ramp up. VWAP is in the bullish territory. We'll have to see if it can maintain. Our money flow wants to head up, so we'll have to see if that can break through that neutral and actually go bullish. Our momentum's getting a double green dot here, so our momentum wants to curl up. We'll have to see if it can push higher or not. Over on the 1 hour, you can see we kind of have that bottoming signal and we're trying to push higher, so we'll need some strength to come in. If we don't get some strength here, we could just roll over and die. Our stochastic's trying to push higher. RSI is overall losing strength and starting to arch out though, so a little contradictory there. Our VWAP is starting to round off, and our money flow wants to come up, but just watch out if it starts to reject it, especially with everything else starting to bend away. Our momentum looks like it wants to push up, but if that VWAP starts to come back down, that momentum's likely to get a red dot that could bring us down, and we could see some further downside. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.